Admiral Kethvar stood on the bridge of the Dominion's fist, his 6 eyes scanning the tactical display with growing confusion. The massive Hegemony Warfleet stretched across 3 light seconds of space, 237 vessels of various classes, from nimble destroyers to the colossal dreadnoughts that could crack planets. They had assembled this armada specifically for humanity's final defeat, expecting the stubborn species to throw everything they had into one last desperate battle. But the sensors showed only one ship. Tactical. Confirm the readings. Kethvar clicked in the guttural language of his people. Confirmed, Admiral. Single vessel, approximately 800 meters in length. Unknown configuration. It's just sitting there. The human ship hung motionless in the void, a sleek teardrop of dark metal that seemed to absorb the light from nearby stars. No weapons were visible on its hull, no engine signatures betrayed its propulsion system. It simply existed, waiting. Perhaps it's a messenger ship, suggested Commander Yithael, from her position at the communications console. They may wish to surrender. Kethvar's mandibles clicked skeptically. Humans don't surrender. In 40 years of conflict, they've never once yielded ground without bleeding us for every meter. He paused, studying the solitary vessel. What's the name of that ship? Yithael's fingers danced across her console. They're broadcasting their identification. The Endgame. A chill ran through Kethvar's exoskeleton. Humans and their ominous names. The Endgame. As if this single ship represented the final move in some cosmic chess match. Open a channel, he commanded. The main screen flickered, revealing the bridge of the human vessel. A single figure sat in the captain's chair, an elderly human female with silver hair and calm, calculating eyes. Behind her, the bridge appeared almost empty, with perhaps a dozen crew members visible. I am Admiral Kethvar of the Hegemony Fleet. You face the assembled might of 237 warships. Surrender now, and your deaths will be swift. The human woman smiled, that peculiar facial expression that always unsettled him. Admiral Kethvar, I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the UAS Endgame. I'm afraid we can't surrender. We have work to do. Work? Kethvar's primary arms gestured dismissively. Your world burns behind you. Your colonies are ash. What work could possibly remain? The work of ensuring this war ends today, Chen replied simply. Kethvar studied her face, searching for signs of madness or desperation. He found neither, only a terrifying certainty that made his skin crawl. You have one ship against our entire fleet. Even if your vessel were the size of a moon, you could not. Size isn't everything, Admiral. Chen's fingers moved across her armrest console. We've learned a few things about the universe during our 40 years of education. The endgame began to change. At first, Kethvar thought his sensors were malfunctioning. The human ship appeared to be folding in on itself, its sleek hull rippling like liquid mercury. Space around the vessel began to distort, creating visible waves that his eyes couldn't quite process. Admiral, Yithael's voice cracked with strain. Our instruments are detecting massive gravitational anomalies. The readings don't make sense. All ships, open fire. Kethvar roared. The Hegemony Fleet unleashed everything. Energy beams that could vaporize asteroids, missile salvos that could sterilize continents, particle cannons that punched through reality itself, all focused on the single human vessel. Nothing reached it. The attacks simply stopped. Beams curved away, as if following invisible paths. Missiles detonated harmlessly against barriers that couldn't be seen. The space around the endgame had become a maze of twisted geometry, where the normal laws of physics held no sway. What are they doing? Kethvar whispered. On the screen, Captain Chen's expression remained serene. For 40 years, you've pushed us back, system by system, world by world. You've forced us to adapt, to evolve, to discover capabilities we never knew we possessed." She paused, watching as another wave of attacks futilely bent around her ship. "We've learned to fold space-time, like origami, Admiral. We've touched the quantum foam that underlies reality itself." The distortions around the endgame suddenly expanded, racing outward at impossible speeds. As the wave passed through each hegemony vessel, something extraordinary happened. The ships simply stopped. Not destroyed, not damaged, but frozen in space-time itself. "You see," Chen continued conversationally, "we realized that this war was never about territory or resources. It was about survival, the survival of both our species. So we developed something new. Not a weapon, but a tool." Kethvar tried to speak, to move, to think, but found his consciousness locked in an eternal moment. Around him, his crew stood like statues, caught between heartbeats. "We call it the temporal lock," Chen explained. "Your entire fleet now exists in a single, stretched second, conscious but unable to act, aware but unable to change. You'll remain this way until you choose differently." The endgame began to fade, shifting into dimensions that Kethvar's eyes couldn't follow. When you're ready to talk, instead of fight, when you're ready to share the galaxy instead of conquering it, simply think the word peace with genuine intent. Until then, you have all the time in the universe to consider your choices. The human ship vanished, leaving behind only the frozen armada and the echo of Captain Chen's final words. "The war is over, Admiral. Humanity wins by choosing not to fight." In the stretched second that became his new eternity, Admiral Kethvar finally understood why they had sent just one ship. Sometimes, the greatest victories came not from superior firepower, but from superior wisdom and the courage to use it.